I am back and I'm going to be testing out my Derwent Lightfast colouring pencils in today's video. I purchased these a few weeks ago, and if you've seen my Jackson's haul video then you'll know that I purchased them as part of that. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description box so you can go and watch that one after this and see all of the goodies that I managed to pick up. I've got myself 9 pencils in total from Derwent, and I bought these open stock because I didn't want to be dictated to by what colours I got in my set. I chose these 9 colours. I don't really know why I didn't round it up to 10. I bought myself a white, a dark cyan and a dark indigo. Also bought the mallard green. The earthy tones that I picked up, I've got the cinnamon, Mars orange, flame yellow and also a natural brown. So I thought that these would be a really good selection of colouring pencils. I've got some more of like the blues and the moody colours and then more of those earthy tones. I thought this would be a really good start to my Derwent Lightfast collection. Derwent Lightfast currently have 100 different colours within their range, and you can buy all of them in one big set. But like I said, there will be colours that I might not necessarily use, so I want to gradually build my collection up open stock and get the colours that I know I will use. So when I first swatched these colours, I noticed how much colour payoff I could achieve from these colouring pencils from the very beginning. There was a good layer of colour and it really did cover the page intensely. It was quite difficult to see any of the paper underneath, and I felt like there was a good solid block colour achieved within the swatches. So the colour payoff is very, very strong. Now Derwent have formulated their Lightfast colouring pencils with an oil-based core, so they will feel slightly harder when you are using them, and they might feel a little bit drier on the page than a wax-based colouring pencil such as the Prismacolor. However, I do feel like you're going to be able to make these colouring pencils last a lot longer because they are an oil-based colouring pencil. They are a lot harder and they're not going to sort of crumble and break away as quickly and as easily as those softer colouring pencils. So I think you might get a little bit more bang for your buck with these colouring pencils. With my drawing today, I'm going to be drawing an animal. Now I don't draw animals all that often. It's not something I usually gravitate towards. I'm usually more of a sweet treat or a plant type of person when it comes to drawing or painting. However, when I was looking at the colours and I saw that mallard green, I just could not get it out of my head that I wanted to draw a duck, and I wanted to try out those indigos and that really vibrant blue with the greens and see how they blended together on the duck. So that's exactly what I have created in today's video, and I am really, really happy that I decided to go for this in my drawing today because I am truly in love with the colours that I have managed to achieve within my drawing. And as we go through with this, hopefully you'll be able to see some of those colours coming out in the piece and you'll see what I mean. As the name suggests, these colouring pencils are 100% Lightfast, and again Derwent have formulated these colouring pencils so that they are going to be Lightfast for at least 100 years if they're in museum conditions. So that means those colours should not shift or change over a period of time like some cheaper colouring pencils might do. They might fade, they might slightly discolour. However, these ones are supposedly supposed to keep their colour for at least 100 years. Now Derwent claims that these colouring pencils can be used with an oil-based medium and you should be able to get an oil painting quality finish. Supposedly, I don't know about that claim. However, this is what they say. You can use mediums on these to help blend them into the paper that much more, and you can get a really good colour payoff and blend with these colouring pencils if you do use an oil-based medium. Now the only colouring pencil medium that I own is this Zest It one, which I haven't actually tested with the colouring pencils in today's video. If you want to see how well they react to a colouring pencil medium, let me know in the comments and then I can test that out for you. When I started drawing this duck, I immediately thought how easy it was for these colours to lay down. I initially just blocked in all of my colours very, very loosely on the duck duck, and then I gradually built it up and blended in the colours. But I was not disappointed at how quickly I could build this drawing up. I found that the colours layered on top of one another really easily, and then they blended and burnished out like an absolute dream. I managed to achieve some really nice colours in here. For example, I love how the green and the yellow combine for some areas of the duck just underneath its eye and out towards on its cheek area. I really like those sorts of tones that I've managed to create there with those two different colouring pencils, and also those rich dark blues going into that green. I absolutely adore, and I felt like they blended really well. I found that I could layer that on top and I didn't lose much of that brightness from the white. It didn't just blend in and make the colour that much lighter. I could see that there are areas where that white does sit on top and it does leave a nice bright white highlight, which some oil-based colouring pencils do struggle with that, and I have found it quite difficult in the past to get those bright white highlights in with an oil-based colouring pencil once I've already put my other colours down on the page. When I was using these colouring pencils, I did find them slightly more dry on the paper, whereas if you're thinking of a wax colouring pencil, if you're used to using a Prismacolor, these ones are going to feel a lot drier on the page. They don't kind of melt in as much as the Prismacolor colouring pencils will. However, they don't feel like there's too much resistance on the page. They do cover the paper really nicely. They just feel slightly drier than a wax-based colouring pencil. I felt like I could achieve some really nice colours on there. So for example, like I said earlier, that yellow and that green together create a really nice highlight, and then those indigos with the mallard green again work really nicely, and they did blend in really well into the piece. Then further on into the drawing on the body, I found that the cinnamon blended really well with the Mars orange and that natural brown. Again, I didn't have any issues when it came to blending them all together, and I didn't have any issues when I wanted to get those highlights back in on the front part of the body of the duck. I think they may have even blended in better than my Faber-Castell Polychromos that I am a really big fan of. So these ones might even take top spots on my favourite colouring pencils. We will see though, and I will let you know in an update on how I find them. If you want to see me using these colouring pencils against my Faber-Castells, let me know in the comments and I will test those out for you. But once blended, the paper was fully covered. I couldn't see any textures through from my sketchbook. The coverage on the page was absolutely brilliant. I think that these are a really decent colouring pencil and I would highly recommend them. Value for money, I would say that they are up there. They are quite an expensive colouring pencil at £2.80, £2.90 per colouring pencil. However, if you can find them on a deal and you're happy to spend the amount of money on them, I would definitely recommend. They are an absolutely fantastic colouring pencil and I absolutely loved using them on this piece. If you're just using them in a colouring book or your sketchbook, you might want to reconsider and think about a cheaper option because these are an expensive colouring pencil. You know, to build up a set is going to cost you a few £100s. However, if you are wanting to use them to sell your artwork, one, you know they are all going to be Lightfast colouring pencils. They're going to last a really long time. Your work is going to be archival and whoever you're selling to will get a really good product at the end of it because you've used high quality colouring pencils and that piece of artwork is going to last a very long time. If I were to compare them to my Faber-Castells, they are both a oil-based colouring pencil. However, the lightfastness of the Faber-Castell isn't as consistent, I don't think, as the Derwent Lightfast colouring pencils. So I think that the lightfastness of the Derwent colouring pencils is going to be that much higher than the Faber-Castells. However, the Faber-Castells do offer a really excellent range of colours, and they are a bit cheaper as well. So if you're starting out, then they could be a better option for you than the Lightfast ones by Derwent. Overall, I am so pleased that I finally purchased these colouring pencils, and I'm really happy that I decided to draw this duck. Although it wasn't something I usually draw, I'm really happy with the final outcome, and I'm really excited to do some more work with these colouring pencils to test them out even further. Let me know in the comments what else you think I should draw with them, and also let me know if you want to see a comparison with either my Faber-Castells or the Caran d'Ache Luminance colouring pencils, because I think these two sets would be the biggest competition for the Derwent Lightfast pencils. If you have enjoyed today's video, give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you never miss one of my future videos. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.